Where's my water? Oh, it's right over here.
Oh, dude. Mine's in my pocket still. I had no idea.
Cheers. Whoa.
Oh, I was going to say. Jesus.
You have to tell me if I'm cut off because I can't tell. It's also a little unfair that you did those pull-ups first.
Yeah.
Got a
little extra pump.
All right. Now we'll cut it in a second.
We just got done with our podcast with Luke. That was sort of the first time we've interviewed someone that was a little bit uncomfortable. Not necessarily uncomfortable, but we didn't know him that well. Mm-hmm. And that was it was a cool experience because by the end, I feel like I could text him and say like, dude, when's your next show?
Yeah.
When can I hang out? Or like, it's amazing how.
I want to reword what you're saying. It was our first podcast. Everything else had been a conversation.
Yeah.
It was our first actual where it was like, you kind of had to search for what to say, and that's just how it was, and we said immediately after it was done, like, so cool that we did that.
Sure.
And I'm sure you'll be able to tell at certain times that, like, even I'm trying to word my question and I'm stumbling upon my words.
Yeah. And it's even amazing, too. One thing I was realizing is we have these conversations with some of our best friends that we've known forever, and you can say things and say it's whoever it is, they know what I'm asking before I even finish saying. Mm-hmm. But somebody that doesn't necessarily know you realize middle of this podcast, okay, I have to really frame this correctly so that they get it. And that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that a lot.
And just, obviously we had the podcast just now with Luke, Anna, Rohan. It's just cool because those are people that are actually doing things that we can sort of help promote, like Anna's event. Like, I want to do a post, I haven't done it yet, on our page, just saying like, hey, go to her event. I'm going, you're not going.
Yeah, I can.
But
it's this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I just bought my ticket, and then Luke with the shows. It's just cool.
Yeah, I love that this podcast is it's evolved in a sense into, we're trying to help anyone that's doing anything awesome.
Yeah.
It's in that sense. Like, if you are doing a comedy, if you're doing some event that we want to promote,
posts,
if
whatever.
you want to anything,
yeah,
come on our podcast. We'll do our best to find out what it is, why you do it, all that kind of thing, and that's what's really fun about it.
And I think that's a good way to put it, is we'll do our best, because it's sometimes you're like, even in the middle of a conversation, like I was thinking back to the previous one that we did, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Whereas like sometimes it's like, damn it, I wish we did that a little bit better, whatever.
Sure.
But then it's like, no, it's a work in progress. Not every episode's going to be a home run.
Agreed.
Some episodes are going to suck compared to other ones. And it's just the showing up and getting better.
One thing I love is now we're at episode 15, 16 now, and it's cool because even Luke was like, okay, so what number are you guys on? We say 15. He's like, wow, nice, guys. Like, when we're starting out, you say, hey, episode 7, you want to be on here? People are like, okay, yeah, whatever. What are you doing? But now that we're starting to have this substantial number, it's like, okay, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. You're probably getting pretty good at this. I'll be on your podcast. That sort of essence, which I enjoy a lot. Yeah.
And like, I don't know what I was going to say.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just watching the storm rolling outside.
Seriously,
we might be stranded in here, dude. We might do a 12-hour pod.
Seriously.
It just turns into a survival show. Low-key, I'm just kind of hoping a piece of lightning just strikes the shed and we'd go so viral.
We'd be super viral.
So the Pictured Rocks.
Okay, tell that little story.
Yeah, so did the canoeing thing with Ollie, Brad, Zach, and Mr. Austin. And went with this guy Van, and he wasn't our guide. He was the guy that drove us there and picked us up. He had long hair. The car smelled a certain way. I was like, oh, okay, I know what sort of person this is. Just kind of a funny guy. I think you get what I'm saying. And sure enough, part of Pictured Rocks collapsed. He's the guy that was leading the tour. He knew my cousin that goes to Northern. And dude, in the video, you can hear him yell, "Start paddling!" And it's just like, just to think of that guy doing that. I mean, he has hair to his shoulders.
Yeah.
People with long hair, dude, I'll tell you.
I hate them, though.
But yeah, it was just pretty crazy. I mean, I'm kind of relating that to the lightning thing because I kind of wish I was there for when it collapsed.
That's what's cool is when you go places, you get this certain personability with it after the fact if anything cool happens there. So let's just say...
You can say something about Italy.
Well, let's just say you go to a... I mean, like I went to Second City Comedy. If a guy I saw ends up having a special on Netflix, I'm going around to everybody saying, dude, I saw that guy before. And it's just cool when it's whether it's a location, whether it's a person, it's for some odd reason so you're proud of it. Yeah. You're like, hey, I saw him before anybody. Goes with music, goes with all that stuff. And it's just funny how I agree, it happens with mostly everything. You're just proud to say you were there, saw that exact spot where
that's why people are like Kid Rock.
What do you
like
mean?
just he's from here.
Oh yeah. No, totally.
That's
No, it's a cool story.
yeah, screw my story. And then the other thing I want to talk about, I'm gonna look in here, and I wrote some things down.
Sure. Well, can I interject before you say your new thing? The rain beat me to it. Dang. That's crazy. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of here.
Yeah, no, we're gonna.
But no, what I was gonna say is, what happened to the video once a week?
Good. No, good. This is something that I wanted to talk about. And obviously, like I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast with Rohan, but we talked about it at some point when you get that jolt of energy where it's like, all right, I'm ready to do this. I am still ready to do the weekly videos. It just caught me at the wrong time in the fact that I had to finish up some stuff with school. Obviously, that's just an excuse between the triathlon. But one of the things that I want to get into the routine of coming out with a video every week, but I don't want it to hinder like my life experiences.
That's fair.
So if I'm doing something, I'm not going to say no to it. I'm not going to sit inside and edit it because I have this video to do, because I realize that obviously, while it matters to me, I have 200 subscribers that no one is really going to notice.
Dude, nice. I have 20.
Yeah. So saying that first is I realize that, but this is the second day of doing this. On Sunday, I was sitting in my sauna kind of thinking like, all right, because what's different from the first time I did the weekly videos is that it's fucking raining cats and dogs outside.
It is.
This is probably putting people to sleep, the ambiance.
Seriously. We should do that every podcast.
Yeah. But now, this time around, there's a lot more things I want to be doing than just making videos. Obviously, like I've said, I'm trying to get into selling prints. I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, no, sorry, I just want to...
What were you going to say?
Well, like one way to look at it, I know it could be like in a cheating essence, but maybe a goal too is, hey, I want to do one creative thing every week. Mm-hmm. And that's what you do. I get it, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
And this is sort of what I'm doing. So, like I said, I wanna be making movies. I wanna be writing blog posts. I'm still trying the music thing and like learning a bit about production and stuff like that. Do a lot of the music stuff in here because our parents don't have to hear it.
Yeah.
And what else? Like just I'm trying to do a lot of different things, and so this is the plan that I came up with. It's like, if I wanna, there is a, Paz always says there's this thing called activation energy. It's like you have to do the podcast, we have to set up all this stuff. I have to come to you. It's kind of a lot of stuff. It'd be a lot easier if we could just sit on Skype and do it, right?
Sure.
So how does that apply to wanting to do a bunch of different things? And with the stuff, no one's telling us to do this. I am telling myself, hey, you got to do this, right?
Yeah.
So what I decided or what I came up with was, okay, on Monday, I'm a filmmaker. That is, everything I do is serving that purpose. So only podcast I'm listening to is about filmmaking. Mm-hmm. So I listened to that Robert Rodriguez with Tim Ferriss, which I cannot recommend enough.
It's amazing how inspired you feel after listening to that.
That one is so good.
It's so good.
Literally, I sent it to Rohan. It's just like gem after gem.
Seriously.
And so I'm only reading that Werner Herzog book.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm gonna read because I'm reading like 7 books right now.
Yeah.
And so then things start to compile. I'm only gonna, like Monday morning, I walked around my neighborhood and filmed for like 45 minutes.
Nice.
I'm just working on shots. Some of them are for video, but sometimes it's kind of just working, and then maybe some editing or file organization and just splitting those things up. But on Monday, all I'm doing is things related to filmmaking.
Yeah.
Today, I also did that. Things only related to filmmaking. Went saw a movie.
Nice.
Studying film.
Dude,
right?
it really kind of is.
Yeah,
it really
it
is.
definitely is.
Yeah.
And then, like tomorrow will probably be a podcast day where I only edit podcasts. I only think about posts for social media for podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I work on my website for podcasts because it just provides a sense of clarity. Because once I get working on something, I have no problem
Same.
doing that.
Just sitting down to do it.
There's so many fucking things I want to be doing that it's like just everything is happening. So if I sit down and then on Thursday, I'm a photographer. I plan out my Instagram posts, the pictures I want to do, and then boom, do that. And then Friday, I'm a writer, so I'll write all my captions for Instagram posts or blog posts. I'll write the intro to the Andrew on the Internet.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I'm an Internet Explorer. I'm just going around looking for stuff for Andrew on the Internet.
Sure.
And just doing that, and that it's only 2 days in, but it is extremely exciting.
I like it.
How well it's working. It's just I can tell it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Because and maybe it turns into every 2 days. I'm a photographer for 2 days. I'm a podcaster for 2 days, maybe even a week. But just realizing that you can't to switch tasks.
What I like about all this is I feel like once you start doing this, you're gonna start leaning towards one area. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden you realize, dude, I've been a photographer like 3 weeks out of this month. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden I am just in love with photography. Yeah. And what's so cool is you're giving everything a lot of effort. And naturally, if you keep doing that, you're gonna notice yourself leaning towards other things. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think is really exciting too.
Yeah. But I don't think I want to lean too heavily.
Yeah.
There's obviously like you have to become an expert in one of the things. But if I look to the people that I look up to the most, they're all hyphenates. They all do multiple things. Joe Rogan, Tyler the Creator, Donald Glover, like all those sorts of people do so many different things because everything informs another thing.
Yeah.
When I think about a podcast, it gives me a movie idea. When I'm thinking about, it all works together. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say a couple things. If you need to watch like a film-based hour just to take a break from something at any point, the show Mindhunter by David Fincher. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm watching the 2nd season right now. I'm so damn intrigued. And just his pure cinematography from his open to close shots and stuff like that. And dude, you just sitting back watching how he films things is so impressive. And one thing I'm considering, one thing I'm going to do at work, I think I might set up like 2 weeks where I do it, is I've realized from college, and sorry, this is a little bit of a rant, a Josh rant, but I've realized from college and being abroad and doing all my filming with my camera, I've had a lot of shitty gear. And I've had only my camera, and I'm putting my elbows to my body as steady as I can do it as I'm walking. 60 frames, I slow it down so it looks smooth, shit like that. But then I go to like a corporate filming thing of an opening, and I find myself sort of uncomfortable with this nice equipment. And you'd think it's almost paradoxical, like, hey, you got nice equipment, you should be better at filming.
Yeah.
But in a sense, I'm so used to not using this high quality stuff that in a way it's a little foreign. And I find myself, I mean, even when I'm doing different pans or tilts up to reveal and different things like that, I'm a little jerky. And it's just, I know it's a fluid head I'm working with, but it's just a sense of no matter what it is, what you do, you gotta practice with it. And I'm sitting there, like I watch for my boss do it, and he just fucking nails a shot first time. And I get myself discouraged, but then I step back and realize this guy's been doing weddings. This guy's been using this equipment for the last 6 to 7 years, whatever that is, and it's just like, this is just practice. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
And so one thing I'm gonna start doing, and I want to like see my progression, is I'm going to do like 5 to 10 shots at work. And whether it's gonna be 2 pans and then a couple tilts up and tilts down and then different slider shots, and do the exact same shots for like 2 weeks. Just maybe take 30 minutes out of the day and just see, because I think a big problem with that is you practice twice, but you never really see, okay, I am getting better until you get to the event. And it's like, oh, I guess I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And so this is a sense of me really practicing and seeing results in 2 weeks from now and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was telling that, but that's something I'm working on.
Speaking of results, you and I made our way to my old YouTube channels. And
that's pretty funny.
It's really funny because when the videos where it doesn't involve me talking, I have no problem watching back.
Yeah.
But when it involves me talking, it's like, fuck, like just watching it back is so embarrassing. But like, I should be very proud of that, because one thing that I very, very much so believe in is that if you're embarrassed by your former self, that's a good thing, because that means you're growing.
Sure.
So, like, while it's very uncomfortable to go back and watch a lot of those videos, it's like, oh, dude, you are getting better at talking naturally in front of a camera, because in that video from 5 years ago, it literally looks like you have a stick up your ass and you're like, and this video. Because, dude, I used to get, I mean, I still get a little nervous for the videos, but back then it was a full blown like panic attack, which no one has seen the cuts of like how many takes it took.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, I am actually getting better.
No, and, that's cool. It's direct feedback in a sense. Yeah. It's like, holy shit. Yeah. I didn't realize it was like that. Yeah. And even, I mean, remember I did that gaming podcast way back when I'm talking to that guy at CM Life?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was a while ago. I listened to a little bit of it. It's like one of the cringiest things I listen to. It's like, my voice even just sounds cringy. Yeah. And it's just amazing. It's like, dude, what was I thinking?
But you should be able to, if you're not doing that, that means you're staying the same, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Cool, dude. I'm excited. You'll definitely have to give updates throughout this podcast, throughout us chatting.
And it provides a sense of direction. And I feel like you have to be able to do that if you want to just do anything. I mean, no one is telling to do this except for us.
Yeah.
And it's just, it really has to be. And I had actually a very interesting conversation with my mom yesterday. I'm going to say it. I don't really care. Because of both my parents, my mom is definitely more like, hey, maybe just get a normal job, whatever. And my dad's kind of like, whatever.
Sure.
She'll figure it out. And what I said to my mom was just like, that I just wish that she was more supportive. And it's not that she's not supportive, but they just don't necessarily understand what we're trying to do. And that just because something doesn't work out right away doesn't mean that you're not, first of all, developing a skill set. Second of all, it might work down the road. I mean, in the Late Bloomers book, that one lady was talking about how she started a finance newsletter. In the first 3 years, she just took an L, like just losing money. And then until it didn't. And it's just listening to that podcast with Robert Rodriguez or reading this Werner Herzog book, you just have to learn that like you are pretty much going to constantly be disappointed.
Yeah.
And just accept that as fact. And then we'll go from there.
You've said it before, give it 10 years.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that where it's like,
even comedy with Luke.
Seriously. When he's saying like, I feel like I'm not even close to doing picturing that you could do an hour after a year is basically unheard of in comedy. And it's a wake up call of no matter what you do in a sense, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
And it's tough to really let that sink in.
Yeah, and this is a perfect segue because I told you, I have another Pure Michigan photo being posted. And the first time that happened, I was so goddamn psyched because you get these moments where it's whether it's that or like I think back to the Phase 5 where it's like, dude, I made it. It's official. Like game over. Like I'm gonna get thousands of subscribers for playing video games now.
Sure.
And then that doesn't happen. But in the moment, or like with the Pure Michigan thing, it's just realizing that it's a roller coaster, and you have to just keep riding it.
Totally.
Because you are gonna make a video that you think is really good, and it's not gonna get any views. But then you just got to keep riding it, and yeah, it's, I don't know. It's exciting. And that's why it's also exciting to talk to whether that's Anna with her events. And I mean, I was talking about before the one at Detroit Shipping Co. where I was like, dude, I'm nervous for Anna. Like, I hope a lot of people show up and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself out there. And hers is even harder because it's in person. And Luke's is in front of people on a stage.
Sure.
It's just you and I right here. And if something goes wrong here, we cut it out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it's just inspiring to see other people
totally
trying to do their thing.
One thing I love about Anna, like us talking to Anna and her doing her own thing in her own career field, in a sense, is, in a sense, like one thing that really gravitated me towards this industry of media and video editing and all this thing was, you're not locked down to this one idea. You're not crunching numbers as an accountant or I'm not throwing shade on that, but I'm just saying it can get repetitive. And one thing that attracted me towards this is, hey, you could be a wedding filmer, you could be a music video editor, and you could be, it's just this whole range. And one thing that like is so sweet about what Anna's doing and just things with fitness, that her job during the day, 99% of people in her field might just go home and kick it and have some food and go to bed. But it's that getting home and knowing, hey, I'm gonna do a little bit more to maybe separate myself. I enjoy this so much that I'm gonna find another way to do it outside of work to make myself better at my work. And I mean, I truly want to say, like, you can do that in every single field. Yeah. And that's a realization you have to come to. It's not like, hey, I mean, I love that they're doing a podcast, but I'm in finance. I can't, like, I can't really do much. Yeah. Do a podcast on finance. It's just that realization of no matter what you do, you can always expand and be extracurricular about it.
And just like the importance of, I mean, obviously our podcast is not super important. Like, important to the world. Like, we're not saving the world. We're not, like, donating to charity, whatever. But I saw this tweet that was like, oh, you don't support your art, like local artists or whatever. Imagine going a month without songs, podcasts, movies, TV.
Seriously.
Pictures. It's like, that's a sad world.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think this connects to what we were talking with Luke about and the trying to get money. And I think we're maybe 20 years away from it being a very sustainable model of like smaller creators getting money. And that stuff is very exciting to me to hear about, like a Patreon type of deal.
Exactly.
And those sorts of things. And it is so dark outside.
It is. And just because I know we say Patreon and we know exactly what it is, but just to explain that further, do you want to just say, like, it's this thing that you can upload content to and people pay to access it?
Yeah, so Patreon is basically, you can subscribe to a creator. So if Please Shut Up was to have a Patreon, it would be, all right, you donate $1 every month, you get access to this insider Q&A. You pay $5 a month, you get access to this insider Q&A. And if you do $20 a month, you get this insider Q&A and this and this and this special. Josh and I will host a 1 hour one-on-one conversation with you, something like that. And then there's just different tiers for how much money you're willing to pay. It's a good idea. It's good, but you and I can't support. We can't do that financially.
Yeah. Peter
Attia, I would love to be a Patreon to him. It's $10 a month. Dude, Peter, I'm paying $10 for Netflix.
Exactly.
It's not on the same level. What excites me about Patreon, and it's going to be something like Patreon and Venmo and Instagram, there's going to be, like, it's going to be combined. It's going to be microtransactions where you pay, someone would probably pay a cent to listen to this.
Sure.
10 cents even. 50 cents maybe.
Yeah.
If you get past $1, maybe not.
Totally.
But just getting in the habit of, dude, like a Venmo. Like, if you buy me something, boom, $2. There you go. Like, you don't even think about it.
Exactly.
And just realizing that a lot of small payments stack up. That, I think, is what the future of online stuff will be.
Yeah.
It's just getting there.
Yeah, imagine if you finished an episode of any Joe Rogan podcast, anything like that, and at the end it said, click here if you want to donate 50 cents if you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
You know, and everything's linked up. You know how just like, dude, that was such a good episode. Boom.
Yeah.
And 1 million people are listening. Like, just shit like that adds up so much. And then, there's an option that says, you want to donate more? Type in $20 and hit send. And it's just, it's a cool thought because stuff like this does take effort. And it's that validation of like, wow, I really do need to continue doing this.
Yeah.
Because I'm making an impact.
Yeah. What's your Venmo?
But
it's that stuff really excites me, and I mean I think it's gonna happen. I honestly do, and I mean you read the stuff from Kevin Kelly, like 1,000 true fans.
Sure.
To sustain yourself, you need 1,000 fans that are willing to buy everything that you do.
It's cool.
And it's not even like, it's hard to say, the word fan is even like weird to say, because it really is like a relationship. Because as weird as it sounds, like the people that listen to this know us. This is a conversation that we would have in private. Obviously, there's certain things that we omit.
Sure.
But for the most part,
pretty damn transparent.
Yeah.
No, I know. And that's pretty cool. About to grab this skimboard and whip it out there.
Dude, it is storming pretty good.
I know.
I'm just worried how we're going to get out of here.
I don't know. This actually does not have like any echo. The wood is absorbing it all, which is good.
Dude, this is a straight up studio, bro.
This is a sweet studio is what I'm getting at.
This is Please Shut Up HQ.
Yeah. Dude, I wish the traffic wasn't so bad because I would come to Clarkson a lot more.
Yeah.
But the traffic is terrible.
At the times it's bad, you'll sail home.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I guess that leads into something that I was looking at just there, and what I had written down was the sense of home. And being at home it sucks, but also it's given me a sense of reflection that I don't think I would have had if I moved away. I just wanted to kind of ask you, like, how do you feel about like your neighborhood? Obviously, you had a lot of close friends. Do you get nostalgic about that often? Do you miss that? Like, do you miss seeing Adam and those guys and like just like that type of like the feeling of your neighborhood when you were little? Do you miss that, or do you get nostalgic for that at all?
Maybe like even driving by, those memories flicker in a sense. But I don't know. In a sense, it's just part of things changing.
Yeah.
I wish the best for those guys, but it's a deviance of paths. Like, it's tough to stay in touch when they live across the country and all that sort of thing.
No, I'm just like I'm just saying, like, do you just get nostalgic of your neighborhood, like of those times? I don't know, because I very much so do. Like walking around my neighborhood the other morning, like seeing the field, like where we play baseball.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like I had such a neighborhood, like it was such a unit. Like I would legitimately wake up, call 4 people, like just boom, 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 boom.
No, I know.
Every
it was
single
pretty
day.
fun. And just even knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Hey, can so-and-so play?
Yeah.
That, like, I used to say that shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's a wild concept.
Yeah, it is weird. And because I don't feel that removed from it.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. Like,
No, I know.
I
It
feel like
wasn't that long ago.
but it was. I don't know. It's just it's a weird thing, and I've been wrestling a lot with like the idea of like home, and I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah. How do you feel about, like, say today you were to move to New York? In retrospect, you are not going to communicate nearly as well with a lot of people we're around. A lot of people we went to high school with, a lot of people we went to college with. Does something like that scare you at all? Of just naturally, because you're so far away, really falling away, losing touch? Or does that, in a sense, even excite you to move on a little bit?
I think it's not much of a factor for me because, did we clap?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know the people that I want to keep in touch with, I'll keep in touch with. Personally, I am very good at keeping in touch with people. I know I'm good at that. I reach out to people that I haven't talked to in a while and send, how's it going, whatever, give people a call. So I know that I'm good with that. So yeah, I think it does excite me to kind of go away, because it's like you find out who really cares to talk to you, because you go out of your way to do so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't concern me much. But the other thing that I was thinking of when we've been watching all these like old videos and just kind of talking a lot about just the internet in general, is that like it doesn't really matter where you are.
Yeah.
Like, Bon Iver was like, he lives in the middle.
Oh, Bon Iver.
He lives in the middle of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that's where he's like, it's just so nice here. And it is like kind of a cool idea to be like, dude, like a famous ass musician could live in Clarkson, Michigan. I'm like, Kid Rock. No. But it's just cool that you don't, like back in the day, you had to move to LA.
Sure.
Sure. To strike it big in acting. And in some senses you still do.
Yeah.
But like the internet is everywhere. And I saw this somewhere, I heard someone say this and I totally stole it, but like the internet is big enough for everyone. Like it doesn't, it's such a cool idea. And I love the internet so much.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I actually rewatched, and it's kind of on the internet, was the Ready Player One movie. And it actually was better when I didn't remember what the book was necessarily exactly about.
Good.
Book was so good, and the movie was so tragic after reading the book. But it's just that sense of like, dude, the internet is so fucking cool.
It just connects people.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the things, like, I think it's very, and I mean, I'm patient 1 or patient 0 of saying like social media and stuff is bad and like your phones are bad, but like when you kind of sit there and you're like, dude, I'm messaging someone across the world that I don't really know. I'm only connected because of a stupid video game. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah, and one part that I think gravitated me towards playing games that you sort of have an alias. Like I could be 12 and messaging a guy that's like 30.
Yeah.
And part of that is like wild. And it's just cool that it's like being a mascot and no one knows who's under the mascot.
You can be whoever you want.
You can be whoever you want, and that's what's so intriguing about it.
Dude, why do you think my alias was nobody, bro?
Yeah, seriously.
Fucking Brad exposed me.
Exposed.
Yeah.
No, it's a wild era.
And it's just it's cool because you can be it's just there's so many places for weird. There's furry community.
Seriously.
People that put on like short sleeve
construction outfits.
It's just I don't know. I'm just trying to be less jaded about the internet and stuff like that because I think that is the dominant narrative. But they're to a certain end.
Yeah, definitely.
What else? One of the things that I know is in here is we talked a lot about curiosity. That's kind of been one thing that has been an undertone of the past few episodes. Just like seeing the world with like childlike eyes and just really being like, wow, this is a cool thing. Even like what I'm doing right now with the internet, what we're just kind of doing in this conversation.
Yep.
And one thing, I can't remember if I said this on the podcast or not, I've been so bad with watching movies. Mm-hmm. And I've been watching movies.
Nice.
That's all. No.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. And we didn't talk about this in Late Bloomers, the book.
Yeah.
He said something that like you should consider curiosity a moral obligation.
I think I remember reading this.
Yeah.
And it's like it's part of life.
That's what being human is.
It's a part of being like a citizen in a sense too.
Is pointing out, hey, I see this with the world. And that's why I think like that was a huge piece of lightning. Like that, it's just so cool. Like that's why I think comedy is really cool as well. It's pointing out absurdities or expectations.
Yeah.
And then flipping it.
Do you want to be crazy fun?
What?
If we both, like we said, hey, a month from now, we're gonna record a 5-minute stand-up by ourselves in our own room, and we'll just make like a 10-minute video on here.
Yeah.
And it's 5 minutes of stand-up.
The only problem with that is that like
not in front of people.
Yes.
I know.
Because it would be like,
what if we did it Instagram Live on our personal accounts?
Dude,
that would be kind of crazy.
Just I would because that really doesn't scare me, quite honestly.
Yeah. I
can sit in a fucking room and talk for hours.
But it's a little more difficult than nobody on the other side.
Yeah, but way harder just going on stage.
I agree.
If we're gonna do that, I think we should just go on stage.
Yeah. Have someone record it for us. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But
we could record each other. There's two of us.
That's a good point.
I was actually
I'll probably too damn nervous.
Speaking of jokes, the other day I was driving and I thought of something hilarious. At least I thought it was.
Go for it.
Just like how messed, and I'm not like trying to tell this in joke form, but just the like saying "I see what you mean" to a blind person. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, totally. Gosh, there's other stuff. Yeah. like, I hear you.
Good deaf person. I wrote that down as well.
No, like stuff like that.
It's just it's a common thing that you say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I love sayings, dude. I know I would get a little caught up in stuff like that. Like, oh, twist my arm, I'll have another. Like stuff like that. I just love that for some odd reason. Yeah.
What else? I think that's about all I have.
One thing that's like that it's a sense of jealousy, but it's a sense of reality that sits on me, and it's a thought I've just been kind of just pestering a little bit. It's intense working 5 days a week, and it's amazing, and it hit me really hard in the beginning, eased off, and it's just a sense of realizing that that's the way it is in a way, and that's the way. Obviously, it doesn't have to be, but it's a realization of at this point in my life, like, it is a lot of buckling down, and it's tough to come home at 5 o'clock after working 8 hours in a day to actually sit down and hearing stuff that, like, I would love a Wednesday off and a Tuesday off, and lately, like you're taking a couple days off, taking a Friday off, and it's just sitting back in that jealousy. And I don't know if I'm necessarily asking a question with this, but do you empathize at all? Do you wonder what it'll be like when you're found in that situation? How do you feel about the sense of, and like I said, this isn't a very good question.
No, I know what you're saying. I hope to not find myself in that situation, and I'm clawing as hard as I can to not go in that direction. And it's a convenient thing to say, but like, and even like I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, I know you think I'm lazy, and I know you think I'm not doing shit, but like I'm doing stuff, and like it doesn't immediately come. It's not like, oh, this is all done. Like I'm not shoveling something and then you go, look at this hole that I dug. It's a lot, I don't know. But I would hope to not find myself in that situation, and just realizing that like I could go fly my drone and take a picture of every single house on this lake and send those people an email and say, I have a photo of your house. I'd be willing to sell it to you.
Sure.
And maybe I get some money off of that. Mm-hmm. It's just being I'm good at putting myself out there on social media. I'm not good at putting myself out there as a business person.
That's fair.
Which is something that I need to get better at. But it's just, I think at the point I'm at, I'm like, I just kind of can't believe that someone would be willing to offer me money to do something with my camera.
Yeah.
Which is like, really? But that is the case. And I mean, I am starting to get more comfortable with my skill set and being like, yeah, actually I can offer something that not a lot of other people can't, because just the shooting style that I have, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just realizing that, like, I don't know.
It's cool because I remember first, in a sense, like really getting into this and seeing all these creators, these people that do a lot of these video making or photos or anything, they do have that sense of style. And it is cool how I think I've started to get this style. You've started to really step into your style. And it's just cool because you always imagine it happening, and it's really satisfying to see it happening.
Yeah, and there's this Ira Glass quote, which is this guy, which is like, you do not expect that to be a guy's name. But he works for NPR, and he has this, it's like a 2-minute quote, and it's like, it goes something along the lines of, like, no one tells this to like writers when they're starting, is that you do something, you do your best on it, and you're done, and you're like, it's not right, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
Because the reason you started writing in the first place is because you had good taste.
Sure.
And you realize that you don't stack up yet to the people that you look up to.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be for 10 years when you're doing comedy.
Seriously.
You're going to watch your bits back in your routine, and you're not going to be as good as Joe Rogan or whatever. And you may never be. But you have to realize that you're going to suck in the beginning, but it's taking you somewhere. And it's just riding that roller coaster and seeing where it goes.
And sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
That's the biggest thing, because it's, I mean, many a days have been wasted not doing videos because I'm bummed about how other videos did. But it's like, you only get better if you're doing stuff. So it's just do more stuff, try and be smart with the business aspects of it and like putting yourself out there. But like at the end of the day, if a video isn't getting as many views as you think it deserves, make a better video.
Yeah.
And there's smart ways to go about it. Like even, I mean, I'm kind of going on a rant, and I feel like this doesn't really pertain to many people that listen to our stuff. Because, I mean, I guess there's a few people that make YouTube videos that listen, so I'm going to still say it. It's just like one thing I've been thinking about is like, okay, I'm going to make 3 videos that I just want to make, and then 1 video that's kind of, not clickbait, but like, I've been making iced coffee at home.
Nice.
And it's super easy to do.
Yeah.
So the simplest way to make iced coffee at home, gonna toss up a 2-minute video of that. Hopefully it gets a few views.
Sure.
And just kind of work, like realizing that, yeah, you do kind of not sell out, but you have to make a video that kind of people are gonna wanna watch to rope you in. Because I think about when I was the most into Casey Neistat, I felt like I was a part of his journey of like every day. And that's what I want my videos to be, is like a part of my, not journey might be the wrong word, but like, hey, I'm trying to do this.
Come with me.
Yeah. And I think that's the only way you're going to build any sort of following, is if people feel like they're a part of it.
Agreed.
And that doesn't have to be a weird way. It's just like, yeah, it's fun to see people do well at stuff. I mean, there's this guy that I discovered online called Run Every Day, or his name is Hella Good, and he does this Run Every Day thing. And he's run for 800 days straight.
Jesus.
And it's just like, that's so sweet. And people are in the comments like, I'm 100 days straight.
Yeah.
And it's just a sense of community. As people want to belong to things, that's what you can do on the internet. We're kind of going full circle.
It's amazing how much I watched this. Crap, I just had his name. The guy that's Thor. Can you help me out? His name.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth or something. Or, it doesn't matter. Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Yep. He created an app, and the app is top to bottom. It's mind, body, and health, and like eating. And so this guy took a challenge. I'm gonna train exactly like Chris Hemsworth for 90 days. Dude, people fucking love that.
Yeah.
And he's posting every day on Instagram, stories of him working out, what he's eating. It's just amazing, all these levels of it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, Chris Hemsworth reached out to them. Hey dude, I'm in New York. I saw you live here.
Is that Thor?
Let's get a workout in.
Yeah.
And he's working out with Chris Hemsworth. And it's just like stuff like that where all of a sudden you realize you build up this community purely because you're working hard. You're sticking to a goal and stuff like that. It's like so much of what we do is goal oriented. And that's what's cool. That's what's really cool.
But yeah, it's just, you got to put yourself out there. And if you don't, nothing's going to happen. And sometimes you feel like an idiot putting out a video when it's like 10 people watch it.
Sure.
But you have to realize, you have to have intrinsic goals. You have to realize that I want to make this video. And it might not happen overnight, but I mean, just think about the end of your life. You're like, oh, I never tried that. Yeah.
And one thing to add is, like you were saying, you know what? I love making videos that I want to make, but every once in a while I got to make something that pleases this so and so. And that's part of everything you do in a sense. And I mean, pleasing the mind when, I'm going to eat as healthy as I can, but every once in a while I'm going to let go. That's pleasing your person at whatever. But just realizing too that, I mean, some people, their part of it is they don't want to make stuff that is creative to them. They just want to make stuff that let's just say make some money. That's their thing. They love it. But all I'm trying to get at is it can be so different. And it can, not everybody wants to show their true self to be who they are in a video and create their artistic vision. Maybe that person dies extremely happy because they have made something for someone every time. Yeah. In a sense of they gave this other person a vision. And all I'm trying to get at full circle is that applies to a lot of different things.
Oh yeah, I think it applies to everything. It's just it's nothing that I could say, oh, this person should be doing that. When you talk about it of like, oh, you know what you should be doing, you go, shit, I do. Like it's advice is the stuff people ask for when they know the answer, but they wish they didn't.
Sure. I think that's a solid way to end on it.
So we just walk out?
Yep. Not in the rain though, because it's equipment.
No, dude, it feels so good.
Wow, it's really cooled down.
Oh, it is raining. All right, we can stop the camera.